So we all can do a part in trying to help others and make them chozer b'tshuva. You don't have to go and sit them and give them lectures. It's enough that you spread Torah. You know, you get a nice video, you send the link somewhere, you post it on your status, you go and you give out, there used to be CDs. Now nobody listens to CDs anymore, everybody listens online. But the fact is that you can go and share the Torah online with somebody and send them a short clip, send them a short powerful video. That would be the kiruv of today. That would be your small gesture to go help and rebuke / mekarav another person. So therefore, he says an interesting story over here that one time Rabbi again came to a class to a group of women in shul in Jerusalem, and then he stopped outside the door and he heard a lady talking. He heard a lady saying a story. So he was listening to what the story was, and this lady said, "I was chozer b'tshuva," the lady said, "because of the against tapes." He said, "What happened?" He says, "But not even because of the speech. I heard one sentence from this tape and I was chozer b'tshuva." How? She said that she had a neighbor who was religious and she wasn't religious. And one day she came and she said to me, "My neighbor, would you want to listen to this tape about the laws of Shabbat?" And she said, "No, I don't really want to, I'm not interested." So the neighbor was very pushing. She's like, "What do you have to lose? Just take the tape." She's like, "Okay, I'll take it." So my husband and I, the lady says, work all week. So we don't have time to listen to this tape. So one day a week we have the ability to listen. Shabbat we don't have work. So I said, you know what? On Shabbat, this lady, she's not religious. She takes the tape. She wants to plug in the tape on Shabbat. She plugs it in. It doesn't work. She rewinds it. She presses play again. Doesn't work. She takes the bigger stereo she has. She puts it in there. Doesn't work. She's like, I don't understand. Well, then Shabbat was over. On Sunday, she tried it again and it worked. And the second it worked, what did it say? You hear it again. Shabbat Kodesh LaHashem. And she stopped the tape. And she's like, this is the sign. Hashem didn't let me play it on Shabbat. And the second I played it, after Shabbat, it said Shabbat Kodesh LaHashem. So I understood this is we have against tapes don't work on Shabbat. Hashem is sending a sign. It's a miracle. And then right away I decided to chozer b'tshuva and I started keeping Shabbat. So you see from what? That even the lecture, she didn't even listen to the lecture, she listened to one sentence from it. The fact that he gave her the tape, that's what made her chozer b'tshuva. The fact that he sent the video, he sent the link, he sent and the guy watched one sentence from it. You don't even know from which Dvar Torah a person will chozer b'tshuva. So therefore a person has to try as much as he can to go and share as much as he can. He says another story over here, how he went to visit England to go teach over there, and he had a lot of tapes he brought with him. So what happened? So he went to give it to one of his students to give it out, and the student didn't know what to do with it. So he saw this Yemenite Jew coming out of a shul, and he said he just gave him tapes. He said, "Here, take this tape and give it out everywhere." So then a few years later, he gets a letter from this woman who was the husband of that Yemenite Jew, or the wife of the Yemenite Jew, and said, "Look what happened." So he said that they came from a totally secular kibbutz in Israel, and they moved to England. So her husband became more and more religious, but the lady, the wife, that wasn't religious. And it got so difficult to the point where they decided to split up, to get divorced. They can't handle the stress anymore. One's religious, one's not. So what happened? So the night before we were supposed to split up the next day, I couldn't sleep. The lady says, I got up, I see myself pack all my stuff, ready to leave. She's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. She's like, in tears. And she doesn't know what to do. She starts praying to God. She gets all dressed up. She says to Tehillim, she's like, Hashem, if you want me to stay with my husband, and you want me to have shalom bayit, and you want me to try to become religious, send me a sign. He sends a sign, and her husband wasn't home at that time when she was in the living room. He came home from shul after nets, and in his hand, what did he have? He said, I brought this for you. He had it in her hand. He had in his hand a tape from Rabbi again. She listened to that tape, and she said, I understood from that was a sign. Hashem is telling me come back. And therefore she ended up not divorcing, and she ended up becoming religious. But you see, again, another situation where it wasn't even the lecture, it was just the fact that she got the tape. That was a sign for her. You don't know when you send a link to somebody now, then maybe they're sitting there saying, Hashem, send me a sign. If someone sends me a chizuk video, or someone sends me a Dvar Torah, maybe that'll be the sign that you want me back. And you don't know, maybe you'll be the shaliach to help them do that. So therefore, a person has to try to spread as much Torah as they can. In our day and age, it's so simple. It's just a thought and one press of a button. Baruch Naolam.